Hi, this is Greg Kihlstrom. Welcome to the Agile World podcast, where we discuss customer experience, employee experience, and transformation in an agile age. The Agile World podcast is brought to you by TEKsystems, an industry leader in full-stack technology services, talent services, and real-world application. For more information, go to teksystems.com. To read more about the topics discussed on this show, you can go to my website at theagile.world and read my latest articles or get a copy of my latest book, The Center of Experience, a blueprint for creating an experience-led organization, now available on Amazon and other retailers. My name is Greg Kihlstrom, and I'm the host of the Agile World podcast, as well as the co-founder and CEO of CareerGig, a marketplace that provides freelancers access to premium jobs, plus health insurance, retirement, and other benefits. Companies that hire freelancers and 1099s get access to verified freelance talent and can offer them benefits. Today, we're going to talk about the freelance economy and why it's important that companies use verification and assessments to reduce risk and hire the best possible candidates. One of the great things about the web is that it is an often open place where people can participate from different locations and backgrounds. While in many cases this works well, companies can often have a hard time differentiating between freelancers and contracts who claim to have certain credentials and skills. How do you verify and certify that the person you are hiring is an expert at what they do before it's too late? To help me discuss this topic and offer some potential solutions, I'd like to welcome Kelly Painter, who is part of the team at CareerGig, where she's VP of Sales. First, Kelly, why don't you tell me a little bit about your background and what you do at CareerGig?
Hi, thanks, Greg, for inviting me on today. I have about 17 years of experience in working in pre-hire selection tools as well as development tools for coaching and leadership development and high potential programs and the development of those individuals internally in organizations. I've helped organizations that have one employee, and I've helped organizations that have 200,000 employees and everything in between. So that's a little bit of background for me. I've spent a good majority of my time working with behavioral assessments and how to create job fit situations where we put the best person in the job that has the best potential to be successful in that role. And really now focusing on skills and ensuring that a lot of my client companies have the right skills when they are hiring someone, whether it's for a 2-month project or a 12-month project. We need to make sure that they have the basic skills so that we're not having someone come in and waiting 3 months to determine whether the skills that are necessary to be successful in delivering a project are there. So at CareerGig, my role is to educate employers on the benefits of using our platform and really ensuring that we're delivering freelancers that have verified information around skills and around their background and their experience. So I'm really excited to be part of that team.
Great. Well, thanks for joining. So let's start by talking about the importance of properly vetting freelancers and contractors. What are some of the biggest challenges companies face in evaluating candidates?
They have to do it quickly. Oftentimes when there is a strategy and something has to be delivered fairly quickly, you have to identify the talent to execute that strategy as quickly as possible. And really, some of the challenge in trying to identify who those people are is understanding what kinds of information that you have to gather about them. And if you use a traditional sense of recruitment, sourcing and recruiting and vetting and screening, that can take weeks. And so one of the challenges that we had here at CareerGigs is to ensure that we can shorten that time frame. So we've done that a couple of ways by employing background checks that are blockchain-based technology. So that allows us to speed up that process considerably in background checks, but also using skills tests and allowing individuals that might be looking for those short-term projects to already verify the skills that they have.
So why are background checks so important, and what should a company look for in evaluating how they're performed?
Wow. Background checks are really important because one, especially on the internet, you want to verify that the person that you are employing to work with you is actually the person they claim to be. So that's first and foremost. Is that the actual person? And two, do they actually have the work experience that they claim to have? Have they worked at the organizations that they claim to work at? And that can be a little bit of a challenge with the freelancer because that doesn't always come out in a traditional sense of a background check. So we can talk about that a little bit later. But then additionally, if you are allowing somebody to come in temporarily to your organization, you have to make sure that they don't have any nefarious reasons for wanting access to your organization, especially if you're going to allow them access to your network, access to potential items that might be stolen, hardware, software, company secrets. So you want to make sure that you have the right person that has the right kind of background and doesn't present a high risk to your organization.
Yeah, no, agreed. And I think that what you mentioned as far as a lot of these cases, I mean, even now with remote work for full-time jobs, but I mean, particularly in some of these contract and remote positions, it's that idea of someone actually being who they say they are becomes more and more important because you can't even look them in the eye sometimes and see. So. How about skills assessments? How do you recommend companies approach skills assessments for freelancers and contracts in order to get the best results?
Well, first of all, I would say that you only want to measure for critical skills. I have some organizations who, in a traditional screening process, will include everything on a skills test. And in reality, we only need to know the basic skills that the person needs to have to complete the project. So when I talk about skills, I have a two-pronged approach. One is I want to test for their knowledge around the subject. So I'll use an online skills testing provider where I can really dig into their knowledge and just confirm. Can you demonstrate the task that you say that you can do? Or do you have a knowledge around this particular topic? So that's one way to do it. The second way is to get verification from past employers or past projects that have been handled in other organizations. And was this person able to successfully navigate this project? And do they appear to know what they're doing? And can that individual confirm that? So if you do a two-pronged approach in the way of knowledge and then in secondarily from feedback from people who have actually worked with them, I think that's the best way to really understand if your individual that's about to approach a project actually knows that information.
Now let's look at this from let's call it the inverse perspective. So from the freelancer and contractor perspective. So, for those who are listening who are current freelancers or someone considering freelancing as a side gig or even a full-time career, how do skills assessments benefit them?
Well, so I'm going to make an analogy. So on LinkedIn, right now, I have listed some skills that I may or may not be good at, and then I have random people confirm that I am really good at those things. And that doesn't necessarily make me a stronger candidate because somebody who I don't know just said that I'm really good at a particular skill. So
Right.
if I'm a freelancer, my job is to make myself as marketable as possible. So one way to do that is to confirm and verify that I do have those skills. So you can use skills testing to say, I have the knowledge about this particular skill, and here I've demonstrated it on this particular skills test. And when you have a third-party skills test provider and you have some standardization around the scoring, you would clearly be able to demonstrate to any potential employer that, yes, you do in fact have those skills, and it makes you more marketable when you can demonstrate that before the employer comes looking for you.
What else can a freelancer do to make sure they're as knowledgeable as possible before applying for a contract position?
If they do take a skills test and maybe they are not at an intermediate level and they know that most of the jobs out there require advanced or expert level, to look for online training. There's plenty of online training out there. There are short courses, small certification courses that can increase their knowledge in a particular area. And if you do that, then you can come back, retake that skills test, and then prove that you've actually learned that and you're at a different level. Freelancers have always been proven to be very good at going out and improving their skill sets by going to training. So going out, finding training, and then again, skills testing to provide just a confirmation to any future employer that, yes, you have in fact improved the skill and you're now an expert level versus when you were identified as an intermediate.
What are some things that freelancers should look for? How do you evaluate if a training course or an assessment is good? And you mentioned standardization is certainly a good thing because it levels the playing field. But what are some other things you should look for or possibly even avoid in some of these things?
I always look for an accepted standard. There are some training programs that have, like for project managers certifications, there are very specific accreditation processes. And so if I'm going to become a project manager and I want that certification, I'm going to go find an accredited project management certification program. If there's a 1 hour program on an internet and it costs $9.99, it's probably not the accreditation that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you find something that is generally accepted. And secondarily, there are plenty of opportunities out there for you to self-teach and then test. There are Udemy. I use Khan Academy quite a bit. So there are some free sites out there. I use YouTube a lot too, just for very specific tasks that I may need to learn. But then Microsoft has a lot of training available, and it's very standard. But again, you can always do some self-teaching and then take some standardized testing around that for certification.
Well, now let's talk a little bit about your role at CareerGig and how you work to deliver the best possible freelance candidates to companies. As VP of Sales, what challenges are you looking to overcome for customers, and why do you feel CareerGig is a unique solution?
Well, I know as part of this team, I'm incredibly excited about the possibilities of creating the best recruitment process and selection tools around hiring freelancers. For the last 17 years, I've worked with clients, and it's when you see something coming and you're just like, this is going to just change the way people recruit. And this platform is one of those things, is because we're going to solve some problems for the employers who have to quickly find that talent. So if we have a solution where we're providing freelancers with background checks and skills verification and behavioral assessments for job matching, we can put those things in the hands of a freelancer and allow employers to be able to view these as part of their search. That will help them hire much quicker. So we want to improve the speed and accuracy of their hires. Number two, we want to make sure that the verification piece is just a standard. Like, there's some things that happen and they just happen, and we don't even think about them anymore. It's kind of like breathing; we just do it, right?
Yeah.
So we want the screening process to just become part of breathing for the recruiter in any organization, because I don't want to have to worry about those things anymore. I know that I have a verified candidate on this platform. And so that's really what we're trying to present to employers is we want you to be to feel confident in the people that you're recruiting, in that we've done our job to verify them. We've done it very quickly, and we're allowing you to connect to the right people at the right times when you need them.
That's great. What about companies that already have 1099 contractors or freelancers that they're already working with? How does CareerGig help those?
Well, this is the exciting part. Is just many, one of the many. I've talked to a handful of employers already who are excited about being able to offer their freelancers, which don't work for them. Some of them work for them full time, but only for short bursts during the year. And they're excited about being able to provide benefits to those freelancers by putting them on the CareerGig platform. They don't want to go out and source the benefits themselves. They're small business owners. And so if they can incorporate CareerGig as the platform, when it will save them money, it will save them time, and it will make the process much easier for them. But it also will make them an employer of choice, because even though they're hiring a 1099 employee, they're giving that employee the opportunity to have access to benefits. And that's really where they see the value, is that they now, as an employer, become more competitive because I've been thinking about this for a few days. It becomes the social responsibility that we're all looking for. When COVID hit, all of these consultants were just left with nothing. Everybody was at a dead stop. And so this kind of platform allows us to give a safety net to those employees. Those employers, they hated to call those consultants and say, I'm sorry, we got to shut down. This is no longer the case. Call us in December kind of thing. And so now when the employer brings those 1099s to the CareerGig platform, we're going to give them that safety net of some insurance, some healthcare benefits, the things that they will need. So if this ever happens again, we're going to make sure that they're covered.
So one last question before we wrap up. For those that want to learn more about the importance of skills assessments, training, background checks, what resources would you recommend?
Oh, well, on the CareerGig site, there is a lot of content already out there. We have some FAQs and some really great informative pieces. But if you need to learn a little bit more information or a demonstration, please go to the website, www.careergig.com. And there's some avenues that you can come in and ask questions, and we can schedule a call between myself and your organization, and we can talk about how we access these benefits and give you a demonstration.
Great. Well, Kelly, thanks so much for joining the show. For those listening, what's the best way for them to learn more about what you're doing and keep up?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn, but I'm always happy to take a call. So I think it's a little bit better conversation because every organization is a little bit unique. So I'm all about the creative solutions that are the best fit for your organization. So I would highly recommend that you give us a call and let's schedule some time to talk about your unique situation.
Well, again, I'd like to thank Kelly Painter, VP of Sales for CareerGig, for joining the show. To learn more about both customer and employee experience, I recommend you go to gregkillstrom.com and check out my latest book, The Center of Experience. You can learn more about CareerGig, a marketplace that provides freelancers access to premium jobs, plus health insurance, retirement, and other benefits at www.careergig.com. Thanks for listening to The Agile World with Greg Killstrom. See you next week. Thanks again for listening to The Agile World podcast, brought to you by Tech Systems. I'm your host, Greg Killstrom. You can learn more and get a copy of my latest book, The Center of Experience, from my website at theagile.world or on Amazon or other retailers. Until next week, stay agile.